Welcome to the Serverless Programming Solution course, AWS Lambda Recipes. In the previous section, we learned how AWS Lambda works. In this section, we will implement different use cases for Lambda interacting with other AWS services, and we will learn new way to deploy serverless solution using AWS CLI and AWS SAM. This is the first video of the section, AWS Lambda and API Gateway. In this video, we will integrate AWS Lambda with the API Gateway, triggering functions on HTTP requests. The API Gateway is a managed service to publish and maintain API at scale, allowing you to handle HTTP request response synchronously with Lambda. Whenever a request reaches an API Gateway endpoint, it is wrapped into an event. The function receives event payload, executes business logic, and returns a response that it is later sent back to the client issuing the initial request. Let's see now how to configure an API Gateway trigger for our Lambda. We created a function named hello. This is function implementation. We initialize the name variable to word, then we get the value in input from the query string parameter if it is present. You have other options for getting input, like a JSON payload from the request body or a value in the URL path, for example, /user/123. Then we build a JSON payload that will be sent to the client issuing the HTTP request. This is what the client sees. And we must wrap it in a response object for the event proxy for the API gateway. In the response object, we specify also status code and a custom header. Custom headers are optional, but status code is compulsory. We are back in our Lambda dashboard. Now we can add an API Gateway trigger for this function. We can click here to add the trigger. As you can see, we need to configure the API Gateway. If you scroll down, you see the configuration. We can get an API name. We change the configuration of our API Gateway using sample as API name. Of course, you can use a more meaningful name. Prod as deployment stage. We talk about deployment stage later, but as you can imagine, they are like prod, test, staging to separate different environments for your Lambda. And we selected open as security option so that our API will be publicly accessible. Now we can save our Lambda. As you can see here, we have now a URL to invoke our service. Here we invoked our service both without the query string parameter and with the query string parameter. As you can see, we receive different message. Hello world in this case, hello Francisco in this other case. Here you can see also additional header that we added to the request. In the previous section, we mentioned also CloudWatch logs. CloudWatch logs is a managed service to monitor, store, and aggregate logs from different sources. For example, AWS services like EC2 or even your server if you install a local running agent on your machine. All log items sharing the same source stay in a log stream. Log streams sharing the same settings are in the same log group. For example, by default, each Lambda will have one log group and one log stream for each execution. This is the CloudWatch dashboard. As you can see, we have here a log group for our Hello Lambda, and if you go inside the group, you see different execution in different log streams.